to one more today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's review what we covered this week. Big-based characters. So first we have big. And according to my theory, big is a relative term that only over time we forgot is relative, make it absolute. When we say big, we originally mean bigger. And we will create this relative term by combining two pieces together. So this is our two pieces, and then the horizontal line is the combiner. Now, when we are saying big, we subconsciously are comparing it to something as the norm, as the benchmark. And then we say something is big, it's really bigger than whatever in our mind as the norm. So, as you can see, compared with the 2,000 years ago Xu Shen's dictionary, this is straightening of the horizontal line. Because simply like drawing a curved line is a little bit harder, right? So drawing a horizontal line is speedier, more easy to be standardized. So we have big. Now we add one dot to that. It turned out this type image, well, not kept in Xu Shen's dictionary. So I cropped out this earlier version of it. And as you can see, it's expressed differently. It still has those two pieces. And we have two of them stacked up. And then we have this third piece connecting these two pieces together. So, I mean, basically it means four pieces. And Chinese has an interesting thing to express the world. When we're repeating a pattern, we just show it twice to show you, okay, dimensional, the whole 2D dimensions covered by the same pattern like that. If we show 3 times, I mean, it just came to me that it could be 3-dimensionally, like a field with that, like sun, right? When we have 3 wood symbol stack up together, it means a 3-dimensional. It's not just forest that grow by the same type of wood, so to speak, but it's with ups and downs, taller trees, more diversification. So it grows to different height, and that makes it a forest. And when we have 4 things together, that's like a 4th dimension. It's even hard to picture in our 3-dimensional minded world. And so when we have 4 pieces together, it's like another magnitude increase. It's not even magnitude. It could be like different dimension increase. So whenever Chinese repeat something by 1 time, it's definitely not linear. It's more exponential. Like it's the x to the a, this a. If this is the 4th repetition, is whatever that x is times 4. I mean, powered by 4. So it's a power law. So here we're using this repetition 4 times of that means it's too much. It's overdoing, overkill of something. So here we have the same big imagery to keep the relationship with the big we already created. But we add that extra dot to mean there are multiples of these. So this is a kind of indicator, it's abstract. So somebody create this to make sense of, it means big. We double down on the concept of big. And of course, when we double down on something, it's like more than enough of this already relative term. It's relatively bigger than bigger. Okay. 犬 dog. Okay, so here, even if we have the big imagery, the original character is totally different. So simply because here we kind of look like the character big, and somebody kind of smooths out the curve here and just use the framework of a well-established and probably more commonly used Chinese character big, and only preserve the dog's ear on the top right of there. So it's an effort to standardize, to reduce the variety of Chinese characterizations of this 2D world. But at the same time, it wipes out the origins. And here's what we are doing here. Okay, so here is the extra dot. Now, fu is this big imagery plus 1 horizontal line. But in fact, it is big. It's not just an abstract term, abstract relative term of something bigger. It has nothing to do with big. It's a full frontal view of two legs standing, two arms spreading, kind of a muscular imagery of a grown man. And this grown part was expressed by this cross symbol. It has nothing to do with cross, as in Christianity, but it is a hairdo that you use, imagine, chopstick looking thing, like a stick, pin down the hair. Because of the Chinese tradition that every part you are born with, you have to die as such. So even your hair, don't cut it. But for the convenience of living your life, right? It's too messy to let your hair down. So pinning it up became the grown man signature look. So here we have the top preserved as the cross, and then the bottom we have the arm, the big arch straightened out as a horizontal line, and they end up looking like the big with one extra line on the top, but it came from a different origin. Now, 天 does come from with big, and then top frame horizontal line already signify the upper boundary of human existence, which is, I guess, the end of a biosphere that we can still breathe and live in there. And of course, in ancient times, we cannot fly, so we cannot really explore too much vertically unless we climb a mountain, right? But that give you us the sense of that's the environment that wrap us in. And this is the top frame, one horizontal line already referring to that. And then we add the concept of big to mean the big upper bound. And that's how Chinese define sky. And again, we straighten out this curve. And yang came from this big looking imagery. And according to scholars, this is a human figure with a headband. And I compare it to the plants, early age of the plants growing underground, trying to zigzag through its way to break through the ground. And that zigzagging, that bending was the plant's posture at an early, I guess, childhood of the plant versus humans' childhood also have their head bend. And as you can see here, this head bending used to be only tipped toward the right side, which is the Chinese backward bending. And because Chinese are leftward facing oriented culture. And then here, instead of like a gingerly tip on one side, we add the whole stroke to top off this tip of this vertical line. So that way it's easier to write. Even if it's two strokes, you don't have to write in this awkward way. You just stroke through and have the horizontal line straightened out. So here we have, okay, try to recall the sound or the pronunciation of these. 大, 太, 犬, 夫, 天, 妖. And these are the markers. The way we straighten them, the way we add extra stroke parts of it, and the way we kind of use the same framework of da, but adding some very super simplification of either two da together, we just add additional dot, or the dog ear at there, or the frontal view of humans with the hairdo on the top. And this is, I guess, another human figure, kind of like this. So this that imagery could, theoretically, came from both two parts combining together, abstract thing, or a frontal view of human in a starfish position. So here, I try to find something that's big, but also young. And I think elephant, baby elephant, even if it's young elephant, it's still big in relative to human size. So there we go, from big to young. Thank you for your time. See you another week.